Hello, my friends. My name is Gerdes. I'm just a professor trying to help you understand context in the war in Ukraine. Let's look first at the combat losses from yesterday. Today is March 11th. 920 Russians off the battlefield, -8 tanks, 24 armored vehicles, 74 vehicles and fuel tanks. So it's still pretty active out there. Let's look at this. There was 15 out of 25 Russian drones downed. That's not a great record. 15 out of 25 would be about a 60%. That's a D minus as far as just how many Russian drones were able to get through. And that's pretty bad. And in other ways, things are pretty bad. Russia steps up use of poisonous chemicals in Ukraine. They're not supposed to be able to use this, as the 1925 Geneva Protocol prohibits the use of biological weapons in war. But over the past week, Russian forces have dropped grenades with suffocating and tear gas drones about 50 times, and 15 such drops of ammunition have been recorded over the past day alone. So they're using different means in order to get where they're trying to go. Okay, next. So the enforcer yesterday talked about how NATO enters Ukraine. And then after that, after they put this out, which is, hey, what's going on? And it's getting a lot of play, 5,000 views per hour. So, and then after that, Andrew Mercado put out this. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But the real story behind NATO entering Ukraine is NATO has always been in Ukraine. NATO has been. The U.S. has troops in Ukraine, but it's not frontline troops. It's not this is. I get what he's doing. I think I haven't watched this. I think it's just a little clickbaitish, and I'm not trying to be condescending or anything. I'm just saying you're trying to put a thumbnail that will attract people out to here, and he's condemning it as false, and that's okay if it is false. There's no problem there. The issue is that there have always been troops present, but how? And that's what I want to address. Polish foreign minister says that NATO soldiers are already present in Ukraine. He's right. There are already NATO soldiers in Ukraine, but how? NATO military personnel are already present in Ukraine. NATO soldiers are already present in Ukraine. I would like to thank the ambassadors of those countries who have taken that risk. So the U.S. has NATO soldiers in Ukraine, not necessarily on the front line. I don't know that for sure. I don't think so. There might be observers. I don't know that either. But there certainly are Marines at the embassies. Think about that. That's how this, there's already NATO troops present, guarding an embassy, which is what they do. These countries know who they are, but I can't disclose them. Contrary to other politicians, I will not list these countries. Okay, so it's kind of a nothing burger here. So NATO enters Ukraine. NATO's been there. So that's really the story, is that we have Americans guarding the embassy, the U.S. embassy as it is. Now, are other NATO soldiers potentially to come? Yeah, potentially. It's on the table. Macron has made it clear that it's not off the table. The Polish foreign minister said NATO personnel, additional NATO personnel, are not off the table. And that's to provide strategic ambiguity to keep Putin on the back foot rather than have Putin keeping NATO on the back foot. By the way, the Polish foreign minister Sikorski, somebody pointed this out, one of my viewers, good on you, A+, that his wife is Anne Applebaum. Here's Anne Applebaum, and here's spouse Sikorski. How about that? I didn't make that connection until somebody pointed that out, but yeah, I was talking about how, wow, this guy's hardcore. I mean, well, there you go. Okay, next thing, Greg Terry and I are just about to launch a new campaign in December 25th. On Christmas, we launched a campaign to supply tourniquets and bandages and all kinds of things. We did that on the 25th. By just after New Year's, our communities, now that's Greg's, that's mine, that's Johnny Pierce, Rick the Ukrainian, a number of communities came together, raised over $100,000 for Ukraine aid, and you could see it delivered on Greg's channel. We're about to kick that off again, and this time it's really, really big. Please watch this video if you're at all interested in that. Now, if you haven't watched 20 Days in Mariupol, you really should. It just won Oscar for Best Documentary. And I saw this on Twitter. Probably I will be the first director on this stage who will say, I wish I never made this film. But yeah, and it was really good. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube. 20 Days in Mariupol. I highly recommend it. Please go watch that immediately after this video here. Okay, now we're getting to a gallery of weird. So Putin declared that Russia is directly governed by God. Now, I've heard that before. When I was talking to Konstantin, he was saying, no, that's what they mean, like this traditional values thing and invoking God and whatever. Yeah, it's something strange. So this is Putin quoting. Field Marshal Munich said the following: Russia is a country that is directly governed by God, because if it's not like that, it's unclear how it can exist at all. With this first part, I do agree. Russia is a country that is directly governed by God. Gerashenko said, I hope Putin didn't mean himself. So here's the quote below. With this first part, I agree, it's directly governed by God. Regarding the second part, my job experience in the position I am in today tells me that Russia exists thanks to the Russian and other peoples who inhabit this vast territory. So I guess he's crediting the people for being God, or I'm not exactly sure what it is. Weird thing number 2. Russia puts up statues of Yevgeny Prigozhin and Dmitry Wagner-Utkin, both assassinated by Putin after their failed rebellion against the Kremlin. Okay, that's kind of weird that they're creating these statues, especially after the rebellion or coup or freedom march or whatever that thing was. It's just a little strange. Okay, weird thing number 3. You can be a proud owner of a black and gold Trump coin. Black and gold? Yes, black and gold collectible coin. And this is what it says on the website. Like, it's not even gold. And you can purchase this for the low price of just $19.95. You can save $5 if you order now. Or you can order 8 and get 2 free. Okay. Wow, I'm not even sure what to say here. And I thought that was bad until I saw this. Yes, you can get the Donald Trump $2 mugshot bill for just $19.95. It's a piece of paper. The Donald Trump mugshot bill for just $19.95. Okay, finally I saw this. These were attendees at the Kansas Republican Party event on Friday, paid to punch and kick in effigy President Biden on Friday. Would you be proud of yourself doing this in front of your kids? If that dummy had a Trump mask on it instead of a Biden mask, would you be okay with other people doing that? If the answer is no to either of those questions, we probably shouldn't be doing this. This is just, like, where's the civility? Okay, that's all that I have. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes and the shares and the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.